All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. All four sides. I'll talk about each four of the sides really quick. I'll talk about that, yes. And then we'll get into this. This is In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, and it's one of our fourths, and our whole slogan is letting dogs stay natural. And this video is about keeping dog collars quiet. And I'll get into why, because there's actually a lot of reasons. But I'll talk about the other four sides of the company. Well, no, the other three of the four of In the Image Clothing Company really quick, just so there's some context, who we are, and you can then know what we do other than dogs. So, the main side of In the Image Clothing Company is where it all started. It's about allowing the human body to work. Holy cow, and there's noise here, I get it, but yes. Keeping clothing centered, allowing it to fit correct, and then we just let the body work from there. And we will have In the Image Clothing Company clothing available, made out of 100% natural materials, staying centered, fitting correct, and that is how we allow the body to work. We have another fourth, In the Image Clothing Company music. I address sizings and setups of guitars, to allow the hands to stay unaltered, because the hands are essentially the shoulders, as the feet are essentially the hips. So we just let the body stay working while we're making music. We have another fourth, which is In the Image Clothing Company podcast, with discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things. I get blunt and bold and raw and real, and it's a really cool place to check out if you'd like to. So we've got some noise, raw, real, In the Image Clothing Company. Here on In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, the way that we let dogs stay natural is through avoiding unnatural materials within dog products. Dehydrated kibble for dogs is very unnatural. So rehydrating kibble, for example, keeping collars, leashes, harnesses for dogs centered and not altering the dogs, okay? We will also have collars and leashes available under In the Image Clothing Company products, with the same intent on what we do for clothing for human beings. So, the thing with noise in dog collars is it can be very distracting. If you have a dog and you're trying to get them to listen to you, trying to get them to be obedient, trying to get them to do the command you just told them, if they're doing anything on this earth and there's any distraction, dogs are curious and they just look to it and they sniff around and they want to know what's going on. But if there's a thing jingling around their neck, you've got those little dog tags that are metal, or a little clip that you can clip a leash onto that's metal, and any noise that could be there at all on the collar of a dog. I get that a lot of times it's a really beneficial thing if you don't know where your dog is, but then you hear the little jingle from the collar. But imagine you, as a human being, whoever you are listening to this video on In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, if there was something below your neck right here, always jingling, every time you made any motion, there's noise coming from right below your chin, that's distracting. Very, very, very distracting. We're going to be debunking a lot of myths here on In the Image Clothing Company Dogs. One other thing, actually, that I'll say right now that goes along with In the Image Clothing Company Dogs is I will personally be breeding purebred standard poodles. So when that comes, that's something that is just a part of what this whole fourth of the company is. Just so you know, okay? Now, dogs need to be able to listen to you if we want them to listen, right? And if they're actually hearing jingling, metal clanking right below their chin, it's just going to be hard for the dog to listen to any command, anything you're ever trying to ask of it, because we already have to train our dogs. They're just an animal, and we're a human being with essentially like an agenda for what we want them to do. We say the word sit, and the dog doesn't know anything about what that could even mean until we teach it what that means. Or we say lay down, we say heel, we say whatever the command is. The dog has to learn what that is. Otherwise, there's no way that it could have any idea what you're trying to tell it. And so the dog regardless of how good its ears are, it needs to be able to hear us without distractions. At least, right, the distractions that we could potentially actually be causing with the noise from the dog collar, that needs to be rid. We need to get rid of that, because you can't get upset with your dog for being distracted and looking at things when there's noise here that's just already right by its head. Maybe you could place your own dog's collar either next to or around your neck and just hear how loud it is that close to your own ears. Because it's the same thing with the main side of In The Image Clothing Company and things that are affecting our bodies. I just kind of choked up on that, so I want to make sure I say all that I need to with that. There's a lot that's not our fault, but we personally do to ourselves, and it's damaging us. Okay? There's a lot that's not our fault for the reasons that our dogs aren't listening, but we're the ones that are causing it to be the problem, right? How long have dog tags been around? I'm not actually asking, but just meaning it's been a long time, I'm sure. And most people just wouldn't even think about it. I didn't until recently, but now we have this whole fourth of In The Image Clothing Company being dedicated to dogs only, In The Image Clothing Company dogs, and I will have so many dogs that I'm around as litters are coming. So I'm learning so many things, and it's out of personal experience, and my understandings of things have deepened so much through In The Image Clothing Company and all that it is. So now when I look at dogs or owners of dogs with their dog and trying to get the dog to listen, or if I just see a dog in public, whatever it is, and there's clanking happening and noise coming from the dog's collar, I'm just like, yeah, well, if that was around my neck and I was trying to just listen to my friend talk as I was walking next to him, there's a lot of noise and distraction, regardless of how well-behaved of a dog you have or how high of potential your dog has of being a well-trained dog. There's just something there audibly distracting it, okay? So we need to do all that we can to keep collars quiet, okay? There are things that I've seen before at pet stores, little things you can place around a metal dog tag to make it quieter. But then what we're doing is adding weight and probably just unnatural materials that are then against the dog. Even if it's hanging while it's standing, if the collar's on the dog while it's laying down, it'll press against it, right? We want to keep everything natural because natural is the only thing that is ever there. It's just earth, right? And we are natural, and so is the dog. Anything you feed a human being or a dog, it won't go into it if it's not natural. It'll just go right through it and back out. So the only way dogs grow is the same as human beings, by eating things that are natural. So we can't be placing unnatural things onto a metal noisy dog tag to try to quiet it, because, right, then we've caused another problem while maybe limiting the first one. And so, yeah, I get it on the end of the benefits, because I can be sitting here and I'm talking to somebody, and if my dog's back behind me somewhere running and I can't see him in the moment or see her in the moment, but I can hear the collar jingling, then I don't have to have any thought of where could the dog be. You just can hear it. I get it, right? There are a lot of things that could potentially actually be benefits coming from some noise where your dog is. But for the dog's sake, and then really that transfers straight to the owner of the dog, we need to keep collars quiet. You really do. So that's what this video will be. And yeah, In The Image Clothing Company collars for dogs, it will come. So, right, the intentions behind our designs, now you know some of them, okay? We are going to do all that we can to keep our collars, In The Image Clothing Company dog collars, very, very quiet, light, minimal, natural materials, okay? So, yeah, there you go. Today is April 28th, 2025. As I said, my name is Evan Strong, the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, all four sides. stick around for standard poodles if you'd like, purebred puppies. I've been saying this because it's the case. There's definitely conditions. I mean, it's really similar to just adopting a kid, right? Getting a dog from somebody, and yeah, so there's conditions, but you definitely could potentially end up with a dog from our litters. And just know, we're going to be so particular, meaning me as the breeder, about who the dogs go to, okay? It's not going to be just anybody who has the money that we are asking can have one of our standard poodles, right? It's, we're going to have our dogs go to people who will take care of them for the life of the dog and well, okay? So there's definitely going to be some conditions, but yeah, and by all means, you know, whoever you are, could end up with one of the poodles from our litters, right? So stick around if you'd like to. I'm so excited for it. I actually have never had my first dog yet. That was worded kind of weird, but yeah, right? So it's going to be a learning experience for me as well, but I know so much about things that are just going to benefit every dog on the face of the earth. So yeah, it's going to be really great. We'll do a lot of awesome things with this. Yeah, like big time. So stick around, okay? Yeah. All right. Thank you.